Morning. Is there anybody out there? Okay, got one. Trying to wake up. Oh, Stellion, hello. First one here. Wow. Very good. Oh, and there's Graham. Hello, Graham. But yeah, this is the time I always start. Yeah, stream always starts as close to 5:30 as I can get it. It's the... Well, stop yawning. It's the best time of the day, isn't it? So the main sort of throw of the sessions for this week anyway, and last week was we were going through, and the week before that is we've just been going through each section of the machine, actually, spending vaguely a week on each. So last week was discovery. Week before was splurging. So splurging, when we hit January, in fact, actually we've had a month of splurging. I did like 100 splurges thereabouts. So it's just making ideas. I'm sure you know the Stallion. When we're splurging, we're just making short, very quick ideas, unedited, making music non-judgmentally. That's what we're doing. Just making something to have an opinion on later. And then what we've been doing is having a listen to them and then picking ones that really, I was going to say the best ones, but actually just the ones that sort of come on my radar and that I think there's actually some potential there or something I'd like to explore. The music saying something which is particularly interesting that needs uncovering. So that's when we go into the discovery, because discovery is about discovering what that music wants to be. At no point is it what Hutch wants the music to be. I only serve the music. That's the way it always works. And we get into a lot less hassle when we do what the music wants us to do rather than what we want it to do. Otherwise, you get into a design mindset. You do things that don't work, and then you lose perspective. Then things just don't get finished, and you don't make the best possible music that you can make. So it's what the music's telling you what to do is what you want to go for. That's where all the ideas come from, that are going to work, that are going to sound good. You're just going with the natural flow of that music. So that was discovery, and actually we're doing another discovery session today, and then I think we'll be moving some of those discovers on into draft or possibly even done. So we'll be doing like drafting sessions this week as well. And then I think we'll be in this routine of kind of juggling between moving splurges on, because you've got to keep the thing going. So what we'll have to do is then have to move splurges on, do discover sessions, and potentially drafting sessions. So we'll be fairly juggling. The interesting thing at that stage is we may be then going down into shorter sessions, not like this session being shorter, but we'll be working on more music technically. So in other words, it might be that you're doing like 10 minutes on each track or whatever, and just very short sessions on them, which it'll be interesting to for you guys to watch as when we're doing the shorter sessions. I mean, this machine was actually made. like the process was initially developed by the guy who coached me, Mike Monday, and where it came from was oh, it came from coaching dance producers who were, initially flying through multiple time zones, right? And they're absolutely knackered and tired and just too done in to create music. The problem with that though is, when you're like an artist DJ, earning the decent money kind of relies on you having music that's released. I mean, the music itself isn't, worth anything. But in terms of getting promoters to book you, and making money from your gigs and going from, a local DJ to somebody who's an artist DJ and, the money goes up, you have to be releasing music, or like the fact of the matter is you just fall off the radar and you have to restart your career. And that happens multiple times, and it's like very, very hard to get back up from the fall. So really what you got to do is like keep the momentum going with the music as well as you're doing all the gigs, But you can imagine, like, especially if you're extremely busy and you're gigging almost every night, how difficult actually sitting down and just doing some music can actually get. So there has to be some way of kind of saving time, and that's what the machine does. It shaves a lot of time off, and it gets you, to the heart of what the music wants to be. And also it's a great way of just capturing absolutely everything, because nothing's actually wasted. We'll have a sketchbook in there, and it's not like it's a bin or anything where you're throwing rubbish out if an idea doesn't work. I mean, an idea just wasn't. It's not that it wasn't working; it was just that that's not what you want to be working on at the time. So it's there for later, and there's plenty of sketchbook stuff that I've pulled out and kind of reworked. In fact, there's one on the first McRocklin Hutch album, Riding Out. So it's invaluable for that. If you're doing a body of work and you're thinking, right, I need a track for a particular purpose, well, instead of just thinking it off the top of your head and designing into it, you can listen through like all of your stuff, and sure enough, there'll always be something there that will kind of be, part of the way there that'll start that idea and give you something to work with. So it's a really good thing to have. That sketchbook. Okay. So, we've got 4 on. I wonder who else is here. I wonder where Des is. Where's Des? Where's Sean? Are they about? So, back to the machine. So we need to have a look at what's going on here. Alright, there we go. Back in the office. Alright. Oh dear, yawning. Right. Chill wave 3. Okay then. Okay, and here we are. I see the vinyl crackle there. Where's that coming from? I put an RC20 on the master. Right, okay then. So the first thing I need to do, because there's a little bit of prep I have to do, I'm using VXS headphones, so I've got to do I have to create a mix bus, so that's what I'm doing there. And then just get rid of the sound ID, get all of that, drop it onto there, and we're done for that bit. filter. Right, one moment. Ungroup. Alright, filter's got to be in this as well, hasn't it? Group. And then that's now mix bus. And then finally, we need to get the headphone software. Stephen Slate, VSX. And there we are. So anybody who hasn't been, haven't seen this, I changed headphones, as you may or may not know, and I've got these wonderful Stephen Slate headphones, but they rely on software, which is what this is. And what it gives you is you put your headphones on, and then it works binaurally. So it puts you in these. They've reproduced the acoustics of these very famous studios. So you have the Archon NRG studio, Stephen Slate's own studio, Zuma Studios, and these are some of the ones I've selected, but there's loads more. But I really like the Archon midfield, so I spend most of my time working on these. So you've got the room, which and then you've got like the speakers. So we've got the near field speakers, midfield speakers, and then there's the far field speakers, and you can flick between them like a regular studio. And it does sound, it's weird because, apart from the pressure being on my head with the headphones, it does feel like you have speakers in front of you. It's quite staggering. And then the other thing it does is you also have, which actually I need to change this. When you bypass, it actually puts you onto these HD linear headphones, which are just, I think I'll swap to the boombox. In fact, AirPods. That's a good call, isn't it? Wireless. Right. So yeah, you can flick between the studios and different environments, listening environments, and check your mixes. And it does sound amazing. I've done one mix on these, and I must admit, I put it on, and what I heard in my headphones was pretty much what was coming out when I went to the car, which was great. I mean, there wasn't any surprises or anything like that, and therefore it saved me quite a lot of time. So the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to have a listen through this. And make some notes. Right then. Here we go. Okay, cool. Right, so let's make a list. Right, so we do have some stuff here already. And, right, I'll just do another list. So small, breakdown, before, last drop. So we're gonna, we're gonna add centrality. To chorus. I think it's sort of like a counter melody. Chorus solos. Stabs versus so really we're not necessarily because I don't think the structure's 100% right on this, especially towards like the end. So really, like what we're doing in this session is we're just really focusing in on are we getting as much sort of contrast out of the different music sections, and what more can we do with them? That's kind of what we're looking at. So drums, add. We need to add more drums. Build groove. Right, so build groove. So what is that? And where on chorus? So we need so I had to come up with some ideas. So big. So on the big, offbeat, big, 909, open hi-hat, maybe. But that's definitely a good idea. I'd like to do something with 909 toms, 909 distorted toms. There's like a hook maybe, hooky, and section. I think that might be quite good. And then we've also got no hi-hat loop, chorus. And also I want to see, so we need to build, we need to remove drums. To start building a breakdown. Which could be breakdown chords. Always put like neo soul type chords with 80s chords. Breakdown. So there's a couple of things I want to try out. We're not worrying about the structure too much, and I think that's enough to be going on with. All right, let's go with that. Hi, Sean. Hi, Z. Okay, that's got you moving in the chair. Brilliant. Right. Okay. What was I doing? Yes. So discovery. We're discovering what the bits of music want to be. That's what we're doing. Okay. So we know the structure's wrong. So that bit'll work great here, but just not there because it's too much. Okay. What's the bass line? We're gonna have some synth strings, and we're gonna use this, and I'll probably regret it as soon as I open the thing. Omnisphere. There we go. It's a great synth. This I don't often use it, probably because it's just too big. It is this thing is colossal. It's got you don't need any of a synth. To be honest, you just don't need anything else. You can just get lost in this forever, which is why I don't use it. Because it's just look, it's just so much choice. It's ridiculous, you know. And there is something particularly that I want to kind of do here. Pads and strings. Oh, what's it called? Is it green? No, analog. But what I will say is it does sound like amazing. Analog classics, it must be here. Have I done... Oh, there we go, big analog strings. Now, if I remember rightly, McRocklin Hutch Animals is this. Oh, it's so rich, isn't it, sounding? Christ. Whoa. Right. Very beautiful sounding. It's like being in a Hollywood movie, isn't it? So let's write some nice... I'll just write some nice strings. Right. Oh dear, what key are we in? Any ideas? Well, that's got B flat written on it. I'll assume it's B flat major. Hello, Des, you alright? B flat. Alright, so I've got a weird chord. B flat major. Couple of possibilities. Yeah, they're big, aren't they? So let's just try. So we have D in the bass. Yeah, that's definitely not working for me. It's just far too. I'm just going to move those out of the way. because I do need chords in it, just not that. Let's go for JP. It's far too hi-fi and big and JX, sorry. That's more like it. Yeah, that'll do. That fits nicely with that vocal. See, oops. It's as if the two things, the vocal and that, were meant to be. Yep. What's the next thing that's needed here? I will come back to that. Cool. Need to build this groove a bit. Quite like that as a little. No, those two things are pretty good. Stick that in. And so look. And this has just got to come in earlier. Oh, very good. see, verse, midfill. Don't know if it'll work in these bits. I just need another bit in there. Right, and then let's try and get the groove going. Back to the no hi-hat. Randomly pick something. Could be quite good. that works. Ish. Just don't need to go back to that, do I really? And okay. Could have that. Right, let's have a look at what I've managed to do. We've got that breakdown. Done that. Kind of done that. And that. I've got that. That. Haven't done that. I don't know about these. Well, I definitely haven't done that. That could be a good one. a good one. Oh, distant vocals. I think that's actually done, that one. That's done. That's a good one. Right, better check on the chart. Okay, I think source synth, yes. Well, I didn't say that, Sean, but there you go. It was a source synth that was added. Cool, Des. Glad you're liking it. Enzo, I still watch, but on a new sleep schedule to be more productive, and it can't make the lives as much of it because. But love what you're doing. Thank you. Excellent. And great that you're being productive. Love it. Right, coffee time. Forgot all about the coffee. Was that engrossed in this track? Right. As I spill it all over myself. Never mind. So it's working out okay so far. Oh, where did it go back to that? Oh, now it's disappeared. There we go. Oh, I don't have a super chat yet, Enzo, but I didn't get round to doing it. Hold on. Just the plug board. Right. I didn't get round to it, but actually one of the paid things in the meantime I was meaning to do was set up Patreon, and then one of the things was going to be just give everybody access to the machine, so you could just listen to the stuff, jam along to the tracks, that kind of stuff, but you could also watch the tracks move through the machine and click stuff up and have a look at the lists and what I've done and what I haven't done. I need 1,000 subs, yeah. No, that's okay. I'll try and get to 1,000 subs as well, you see. That would be good. But I don't do any of the stuff really that kind of gets people subbing me. Because like the thing of this channel is, right, what I wanted to do was have something where, you know, build a business around it basically, was have something where people could just come on and see what I'm doing. And then if they wanted questions or help, I could kind of do a little bit of that here. But then if they wanted to come onto a coaching group, then they can come onto a coaching group, which is great. It works to a point. Oh, that would be amazing, Des. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. But there's gonna be some like other things that I'm gonna do slightly different. So I mean, obviously there's the plugins coming out that Thomas is doing, which I'm like really interested in, and like I've been using it loads, and it's really really good, and it solves like tons of problems, right? Like just like everything. Trust me on this one. Everything's in one place, which suits me to the ground, right? So it'll fit in to my process really, really well. So I'm not like looking for stuff if I want things. I think when that happens, I'm going to go back and because like I've been writing a lot of presets for it and stuff like that, but I haven't really. It's been separate from kind of what I'm doing in the studio, really. Just it's got to be kept quiet, hasn't it? And this is my main studio session. So what's going to happen is I'm going to start using that, but what I want to do is I want to have the guitar play a bigger part in what I'm doing. So, you know, the drums will be the same. I love synth drums, I can see that. And I'll be going back to what I was doing a while ago last year, is I had a phase of sort of like guitars and that kind of weird 80s sound, punky 80s kind of thing going on, and I'll probably go back to that. So I'll be using the guitar like how I'd use a synth. So instead of just grabbing a synth for some chords, I'll be making some sort of like pad sound, so it'll push me to do more and create more weird sounds and play more. So I'll be doing that quite a bit. But I do love the sound of it, so I'm looking forward to that, and then using it in weird and wonderful ways. So there'll be that'll be getting added into the sound, and then I'll be playing a lot more on camera as well, which is good. Actually, I've been it's funny, like I feel alright when I'm playing in front of camera now, but I really enjoy actually just playing and watching myself play on a video. I think it's quite fun. So I quite enjoy doing those shorts, just kind of practicing a little exercise and then just doing, just putting it out there was a fun thing to do. You know, the first one actually got like over 1,000 people watching it. But didn't get many people subscribing, to be fair. But it was only the first one. So I'll probably do more of those, I think. But yes, Des, I need to do a video. I need to do a video of something. Which reminds me, yeah, so, oh, somebody's coming in. So, the other thing was, Des, as you, I don't know if everybody knows about this, but there was the trademark. There wasn't a dispute. The guy actually has, somebody has the trademark for Hutch. It doesn't affect McRocklin and Hutch, but it affects me with Hutch, right? So I've got the design, right? This is what we've got to do. We need to change. We keep Hutch, right? I wouldn't care that the font that's used. It's called the Rage fonts. This guy, he's copyrighted the logo for this country. He's got it for this territory, right? And he's got Hutch in the Rage font. He must have seen mine and just decided that like that sound looks good, and then he's like trademarked it. So what I need to do is I just need to change the font so it doesn't look like that, right? So we're just gonna have Hutch, and then what I thought is just to take the mick. You know when you have like the trademark logo and it's like in a circle and it's got TM. Well, I thought we'd just have that with Tim in it. So we've got the Tim Hutch thing, but you've got the dominant Hutch kind of thing, and I thought that would be taking the mick, and that'd be good for now. Because there's not much I can do about getting around the law. I mean, the other thing is you can just like ignore it, right? I can do that because I quite like the laugh of that. So I can do that because, like, you know, I have to take the piss. So that's an option, or just not bother is the other option, and see what happens. It's a variant. There you go. It is a variant. I think he'll. I'm going to check on that, Des, but that's a good. Yeah, I mean, not supposed. I mean, we could use that and then put the TM, which would be fine. I mean, I wouldn't care, right? But, you know, I mean, what I could. I mean, technically, you know, I could go off and trademark Hutch in a different territory like the US or something like that. You know, we could go down that line. But I don't know if I can be bothered. I should trademark it though, shouldn't I? Yeah, we'll have a play about it. I know what you're saying there, Des. But sometimes you got to rebrand, haven't you? The colour stays, so the colour's the same. That doesn't have to go. We've just got to think round how to not. Yeah, they can. So, like, what had happened is obviously I've been using Hutch since. I'd have to check back on his Beatport, but because it's actually that logo and design that he's used. But basically, so I've been using Hutch since 2017, right? And he filed his trademark, and it was something like July 2022, and it gives you a period of however long, 6 months, in case anybody wants to dispute it. So obviously you just don't know this is going on, so that wasn't there. And then he got in contact with me just after Christmas, so it was actually cleared. He actually officially owned it from the 23rd of December is when they cleared it. And then he obviously got in contact after that, telling me that I was taking the mick using my own name. Yeah, only rebrand if you absolutely have to, yeah. So we could put the TIM kind of next to it. That shows willing, doesn't it? And it's a rage font. So we've got Tim Hutch, and we'll do that. So why don't we just leave the Hutch at right? Okay, here's the decision. This is what we could do. We could have Hutch as it is, and then we'll put the circle with the Tim on it somewhere near. Either just like the trademark thing after it, and then it shows willing, doesn't it? Because at the end of the day, you can't. Yeah, I mean, I probably have to use the Tim Hutch anyway for like separation amongst other artists, because there's a lot of Hutches as well. It's kind of like do it now before things kind of like escalate in terms of getting popular, because, you know, I want a world domination here. Yeah, that's what we'll do. I did actually have a new plugin to show everybody today, which was meant, but I just didn't have anything appropriate to use it on. I have used it before. There's like the Shaperbox plugin. In fact, coming to think of it, we can do something now in the last few minutes. Right, so we've got drums. And on here, so OX, so this is something I bought actually. I didn't ask them to give me it. I just went and bought it. So I've had this a while, and so it's had an update, and it's got some really good things on it. So, which I can just drive myself crazy with. So I'll have to watch it. One of them is for your master, right? And I had one of these, and it was a free one, and I absolutely loved it, right? But you've got right. So that needs to go on my master, on my mix bus. Okay, so this is a great tip. So for a start, apart from its effects, right, it's got a spectrum analyzer, not spectrum analyzer. It's got this view where you can watch your waveforms going through. which is cool because I can see how far the transients are building up on various hits, okay, which is very, very handy because when we get to the mastering phase, there, frozen it, I can see here, right, for example, so we've got 6 dB there, 12 there, so I know here I can shave off potentially a couple of dB off the build-up of this kick and the snare before it, because otherwise when it's going into a limiter, those transients, you don't really hear it removed, so you can shave them off and it's not making the limiter react, so you can get everything louder and more clearer by doing that, because it's not freaking the limiter out basically. So that's like something that's just absolutely amazing. So I've got that, and then there was some other things you can do, like whole mixes on this thing, right? So the other thing was, let's get this in. Of course, it's got loads of effects. So one of them, they'd put like a compressor on, which is good because you can see the timings of everything. Let's do a bit of that. So you can get a little bit of snap out of that. Which is good. So that's the compressor, and then what's really good about it is the reason I actually bought this originally was this noise. So that sounds really good on there, but then we can start doing some really cool stuff. We can go for example, there's a producer called, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of, what's he called? Steve Duda. Stripping music, right? Oh God, see, Chili, you've planted that thought in my head. I need a nicer image now. No, I'm sure it looks fine. You're stripping. Right. Okay. So the other thing. So now I'm thinking, how can I make this even better stripping music? In fact, I should put that in as the description, shouldn't I? The purpose of the song. Music for Chili to strip to. Does the track achieve its purpose? Is the purpose reflected in the arc? And then finally, we've got this. So it's really good as a mix tool. So we can use volumes to shape things. For example, kick drums. before there. So you can actually see what the kick's doing there. And we can shape it with volume, which is great. So you get a lot more options on the curves that you're doing. So I can really get in. So you can actually really shape things with this. But actually one thing that needs sorting is we've got that low gdunk kick. So if we just get shit, and then I'll have to go because I need to get ready for work. So this. So the cool thing about this is that low dull kick, before it's going in, what it was doing is slightly overlapping with the other kick, so we're getting a build-up of bass frequencies. So what I'm able to do is just get the most meat out of this quick, short kick before the main kick comes in. The other thing is it's multi-band as well, so technically what you can do is you can have several of these. So you can have the low frequencies decaying differently to the higher frequencies, which is like very, very handy as well. So and at the end of the day, mixing is about space, isn't it? It's about everything having their own space. So it makes a lot of sense. Do the work with deadmau5, that's yeah, he did, because they were friends before he actually became really famous. There's a couple of what do they call them? Paramind is the organisation. It's like an music education organisation. Paramind have got some interviews, and he talks about like all of his like software that he's developed, and he talks about mixing. And it's a 3-part thing. Parts 2 and 3 are all about his kind of process, I think. I was listening to it and it reminded me of this. I remember listening to it years ago and it was really useful because he talks about just making a good mix with volume and nothing else. And actually if you're using something like LFO Tool, this is the same thing, it's just more elaborate, you're controlling the volumes of individual instruments and then they're not overlapping. And you're creating space, therefore you're building kind of clarity, you're getting something much more punchier. Which is great. And the cool thing about this plugin, which the LFO Tool doesn't have, is you can sidechain it to itself very easily. You just push audio and this reads the incoming audio, and every time the audio hits it triggers the envelope. So you can see there. That's just re-triggering it. And that kick drum can be as big as it wants now. It can be absolutely huge on that 16th note, which seems really short for a kick. But we've also got a bass living in the same space, so technically I can duck the bass out at that point, and we've got a big kick and a big bass with their own room, I suppose, which is brilliant. So more on that later. There'll be more of that being used, and of course there's absolutely amazing, because it's made up of lots of different plugins. There's a pitch, there's a time one, you can half time things, there's loads you can do with it. So it's going to be a tool that will be appearing more in sessions. Alright guys, so we're on to tomorrow, so I'm going to have to review all the discoveries. Some things will be going into the sketchbook, I would imagine. Some things will be moving forward into draft, so I think tomorrow we will be doing a drafting session, and I think I need a bit of discipline here. I'll make a note of it, so I remember there will have to be some sort of 10-minute splurge. The splurges are going to have to happen, as well as these other sessions moving forward in the machine. Or, because we've got to keep the first hopper, the splurge hopper, full of stuff. That's got to keep going whilst we do all the other stuff, so that's really important. So it just means more shorter sessions, which is good, because you'll see different parts of the creative process complementing each other. So the thinky kind of it's all highly creative, but that initial ideas creation, and then as we move through, the more concrete binary decisions will be made. So there we go. All right guys, so I will see you all tomorrow morning, bright and early, or whenever it is in your day. All right then, bye.